I saw Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny recently, and honestly, this movie perfectly demonstrates why we need more original content and a major decrease in the number of remakes and character continuations that are currently overwhelming our screens. Hello, and welcome back to Film Friday, in which I review a new film every single week. This week we're looking at the fifth installment in the Indiana Jones franchise, directed by James Mangold and starring Harrison Ford. Let's get into it. This movie was not great. Besides the fact that I was struggling to see why we needed yet another Indiana Jones movie, it seemed like the writers were also struggling with a similar dilemma. The story felt purposeless in many ways. The Raiders of the Lost Ark worked well, for many reasons, one of which being that the Lost Ark of the Covenant is a major historical and religious artifact that everyone knows about. The Dial of Destiny, on the other hand, is not only made up, but it sounds made up. And the more you learn about it when watching the film, the more far-fetched it all seems. It is a dial created by Archimedes, which needs to be reassembled so that it can be used as a time-traveling device. I also did not understand the need to return to the character of Indiana Jones so many years later and so late in his life. Obviously, besides the fact that Harrison Ford is now older. Well, I mean, the obvious reason is that Disney just wanted to make more money off of an already existing character and franchise, but in an attempt to give the filmmakers the benefit of the doubt, I was still trying to find some kind of purpose behind this film. But it did not come across as very meaningful. The fact that he is now older and this artifact from his past has now made his sudden reappearance had no significance whatsoever for the audience, because this was not an object which we had seen previously in any of the other movies. It was just something that they tried to shoehorn in through the use of flashbacks in the opening sequence. It was not a conclusive culmination of this 5-movie franchise. And not only that, the story itself was not very interesting, perhaps because it felt like we'd seen it all before. The only relatively entertaining part was when they traveled back in time to the siege of Syracuse, and we got to see modern versus ancient weaponry in action. But even that, the fact that they were able to do so was completely unbelievable. Ultimately, it did really seem like Disney was just trying to make another movie in the style of The Force Awakens, but somehow worse. What do I mean by that? Well, many aspects of the plot of this film were very similar to Raiders of the Lost Ark. There was an historic artifact which supposedly held great power. So the Nazis wanted to find this artifact in order to win World War II. Indiana Jones becomes aware of clues which could lead to this artifact, so he leaves his job as a professor and travels the world in order to find it. The Nazis take Jones prisoner and take control of the artifact, but ultimately it backfires on the Nazis and they die. Also, with regards to the de-aging technology that they used on Harrison Ford for the opening sequences, while it is impressive that they're able to do that to the level which they can, it still seemed very creepy and uncanny. Overall, I would rate this movie a 5 out of 10. You would be much better off just watching the original ones. With that being said, thank you for watching, and be sure to comment your own thoughts on this film below. And don't forget to subscribe for more movie commentaries and reviews.